you can hear me. If you can hear me, please let me know. If you cannot, let me know at the same time so that I can adjust everything. Can you hear me? Hello? Hi? Can everybody hear me? Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. I just want to be sure before I go further. So we thank God for His grace, as I said, for the privilege of being alive. We couldn't have done it on our own if not by His grace. So in all our doings, in every day, please let us always acknowledge Him, because if not for Him, we won't be here. So we give Him all the glory. So my name is Olu Abi, for the benefit of those that do not know my name. And I'm also Abid Busi. So you are watching me from Abid Busi, or you are watching me from YouTube or anything. Thank you for joining on every now and then. I know you have other things to do. You have so many things to do, tight schedule. You are buying your data, everything. You are spending your money and your time and even your energy. Because if you're not watching, there's nothing we could do. There's nothing I can do about it. I won't be able to, come on live and do anything. But I appreciate you all for joining all the time, for not letting me alone. I really appreciate you. Thank you. God bless you. And we acknowledge you one after the other. The first person has been Tenibiaje Oluwaseun Adelowo Bukiayo. Yes. Omokehinde Oreoluwa Ejire Oyila. Thank you for joining. Adegboyega Ademisoye. Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to see. Oh, I have quite some people. I have Adeyinka Ronke Oredein. Thank you, ma. Tolulope Bolariwa Ologunwa. Thank you. Adeyinka Adeyemi. Thank you. Okay. Isiaka, right? I just saw something like that now. I thought I saw Isiaka. Yeah. Isiaka Kone or Kone. I don't know. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce it well. Thank you. Sorry for not pronouncing your name very well. So I still remain Oluabi and Abid Busi, and the group is Thoughtful Event. It is being brought to you by Thoughtful Event every now and then. We are on YouTube, we are on Facebook. Kindly join us, subscribe, share, like our comments and our videos. We have some videos on the YouTube channel. We have on the Facebook also. And then please like and share, subscribe. Subscription is free. As I said, it is not with money. We are not charging you any dime. Olutoyin Ogunika, thank you, sir. El Nino, God bless you. Thank you very much. Thank you. If I haven't mentioned your name, I'm sorry. That's an error of omission. I must have missed the name. I know people will still be joining in later. Thank you so very much. Today we are going to talk about the right time to marry. That is, I said, when is the right time to marry? Either a man or a woman, let me say a guy and a lady. I will not want to say a specific age, but ideally there should be age, right? But nowadays it doesn't go that way. You know why? Fingers are not equal. Someone can be ready at 24 and another person can be ready at 30, while another person can say, oh, he's ready at 35. So it depends on when the person is ready and when the person feel he or she is matured enough to be in a relation, in a marriage, right? So that is it. So that's why I said I don't want to talk about age. But I remember when we were growing up, we used to say, in terms of men, that men should have been matured enough between the ages of 28 and 32 if they don't want to marry late. That is the ideal age that we can say is not too early, neither is it too late. Okay, then we say for ladies should be between 24 and let me say 28 to 30. That is if it's not going to get late. That is in between average age. That is if it's not going to be too late for the lady. But my dear brother and sister, it doesn't work that way. Is it that when ASU is on strike for many months, years, and they are still in school, stuck in school till like 27, 28, some are graduating at 30, over 30? Is it that one you say, oh, let them get married immediately? No, they wouldn't want to do that. So that's why I don't want to talk about the age, but at least one should be able to be matured in mind, in spirit, and even in physical body. I'm not talking about marriage of an 18-year-old, 17-year-old. Fine, an adult, I mean, adult who starts from 18 officially, but is an 18-year-old ready for marriage? Is an 18-year-old matured enough? Is an 18-year-old matured spiritually enough and physically, mentally? Is an 18-year-old ready? That is it. Some, they will say they will do it early. Like me, when I was young, I was always saying I wanted to get married at 23, right? But it didn't work that way, because I wanted to, like, if I want to have 3 kids, I want to have them. I wanted to have them before age 30, maximum age 30, right? But it didn't work that way. So that's why I don't want to put pressure on age. But now, I would say age has nothing to do with it for now. And then I would say the first thing you have to acquire before you can think or talk about marriage is education. Education. So when we talk about education, it can be formal education, it can be informal education. So if we are talking about formal education, manage and get your primary school, that is elementary school, the middle school, high school, and then try as much as possible, even if it's an OND or first degree, try as much as possible to acquire that. If it's an informal education, you can say, oh, I want to learn a vocational job, a trade, or anything. But even with that, try as much as possible to have formal education. At least have your high school. Oh, thank you for joining in. I could see Beatrice, Zakia Owusu, thank you. Okunola Gloria Ahoho, thank you, Ma. Nadim Yiz, that is, oh wow, from Pakistan. Thank you, bro. Thank you very much. Thank you. I could see Temitope Johnson also. Thank you. Idowu Lizzie Ogunkeye Ladele Kehinde. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Thank you for joining. So I was just mentioning the ages of marriage. I said in the olden days, let me say initially we used to talk about age, and I said the ideal ages for men used to be 28 to 32 years. That time they would have been matured mentally and physically and spiritually also. And then the ladies, I said between 24 to 28, 30. So depending on how early they get or how late they get. Thank you, ma. Okunla Gloria, thank you, ma. So that is it. I said, but these days it doesn't work that way anymore, because when they are in school, maybe they are in the tertiary institution, and there is strike here and there's one obstacle or the other, and they get stuck in school till like age 28, 29. Some even finish after 30 years. Some wouldn't even be able to serve their country because of age. So is it then you now say, oh, free and go immediately after service, just go and marry? Some people are doing it, right? I'm not saying they are not doing it, especially people that have already learned vocational job while they are in school, or maybe some people that have been doing some trade or some kind of businesses while in school, or even before they started the school. So those ones, you can't compare yourself with somebody that is solely education that you depended on, that you're still going to go into the job market to look for job. So you can't just say you're getting married immediately after your youth service. That might not be able to work. And that's why I said age has nothing to do with it these days. In terms of age, it was there. But nowadays, it has nothing to do with age. I said the first thing you need to acquire is education. It could be informal or formal education. So when we talk about formal education, make sure you attend elementary school, which is primary school, middle school, which is junior secondary school, high school, which is senior secondary school. Then, if there is capacity, go further, right? Go to the tertiary institutions. You can go to the polytechnics, universities, colleges of education. Just acquire more knowledge. And while you are doing that, right, because of what is going on around the world, you cannot depend on just one job. Either you are a man or a woman. You have to diversify. You have to, go randomly to different kind of things you can lay your hands on. I'm talking about legitimate things like businesses, like vocational trainings and stuff like that. So you can be in school and still be learning some things. We have a lot of graduates that are into beads, makeup, cooking. A lot of people are even cooking from their house. They don't have a store. They don't have a kitchen, like a commercial kitchen. They are using their own private kitchen at home, and they are selling. They are making it from there. They can move out. They can get somewhere bigger in the nearest future. But people are not sitting down watching and crossing legs anymore. If you are still in that generation, my dear, you are behind. Oh, you are behind. You are not where you are supposed to be. So you can't just come and say, oh, I'm getting married, um I'm still looking for job. If you are looking for job, you want to do a white collar job, fine. But what other thing can you lay your hands on? What other thing can you do to bring you money, to make you to be able to stand on your feet, so that you don't depend on people, you don't become a nuisance, by the time you start begging people for money. I know everything depends on money, but mind you, Rome was not built in a day. You can't just sleep and wake up today, and a child that was born today cannot start crawling and walking at the same time. So it's a process. So the first process is acquiring knowledge, which is the education. In what form of education, in what form of knowledge, anything. Just make sure you are able to do something. Make sure you are able to acquire knowledge, right? Go to school, lay your hands on so many things to do. People are doing crochet, like we used to call it knitting when we were smaller. They used to teach us with the home economics teacher used to teach us. So where you can make sweater, you can, nowadays they are making it into pretty dresses, a lot of things, bonnets, a lot of things, like caps. Those days when you see somebody wearing those caps, we'll say, oh, they are SU, they are SU. But nowadays it's so fanciful the way they design it these days, that you will love it. When you see it, you might see somebody wearing it around, and you feel like taking it off the person's head and turning it into yours. You won't know the time you will call the person and say, please, How did you get this? Where did you get it from? Make sure you learn something. Electrical work, in those days people used to do it, but nowadays there is computer. There people are repairing telephones, like hand phones, cell phones. People are repairing so many stuff, tablets, a lot of things. People are doing it. That's what is turning our children into different kind of artists. When they know they just want to, excuse me, lay their hands on something, try to get something doing, try to make sure there's money, and to put food on the table. So that is it. So but now I will say, in whatever you are doing, no matter how small, just make sure you learn something. Learn something. I was talking with my husband yesterday. I was talking about with a lady on the phone, and then my husband was there. So I was trying to tell the lady that when she said, "Oh, when you see some people that are calling themselves chefs these days," and I said, well, in those days we used to call them olokpo, that they would go and be cooking here and there. I said, but nowadays they are making it. Especially if God now blesses you, you are the type that you don't depend on the regular food that you know how to cook. You try to train yourself, you try to go further and look for other things to do more and more, so that you could be able to make more money, and then you could be able to give varieties. So you see people patronizing you, you see people calling you, making orders and everything like that. That I was telling them of a lady that she was she used to be my friend. So she now called me one day and told me that she was at um around that law school in Lagos. So there is this bank, one mighty bank there. So I said I was coming to see her. So when I got there, she was selling for somebody in their cafeteria. So she now said, oh, if you see the lady that has this that has she was the original person that has the contract, but she was just helping to sell. So she said she was younger than her, and then for some years anyway. I said, if you see her, that I dare not stand and greet her, I'll have to show a sign of respect. That's money that she started when she was in school. Her mom used to be a baker. She was baking wedding cakes and birthday cakes. That anytime she will be praying, she and her siblings will be praying that the mom will not have job for weekend, so that they will have enough time to sleep. But lo and behold, anytime the mom has some orders to meet up with, the mother will have to wake them early, so that they have to be helpful to be able to do. So she was thinking that the mom was being wicked, waking her up on a Saturday morning as early as 6 a.m. when she wasn't going to school, even on holidays. So she have to bake and bake. And those days there was no mixer. You will use your hand to mix and mix and mix, no matter how plenty the cakes. And some rich people that they will want 10 steps, 15 steps, and you have to meet up with the order. They might have 2 3 orders for a particular weekend, that the mother will now be delegating them. You do this, you do that, you do that. At times she will have to be crying that she will have to be saying the mother was wicked. She never knew she was obtaining a lifetime training. When she graduated, she said while in school, her friends, she will cook for them. When there's no money, she will just think of one thing or the other, she will start cooking. And then she started cooking, and then the friends will now say, we can start selling this, so this and that, say on weekends. And then she started doing small chops she will take to school. Before you know it, there were demands. So she now made timetable. She said on Monday she might make maybe chin chin and something. On Tuesday this and this. So everybody have the timetable. They will just come and be buying. Before you know it, she and her friends could not be able to carry those things again. They will have to charter a taxi from their house to the school. And lo and behold, everything started booming. When she got home, she told her mom. She said she was home for a few days. She now said she couldn't stay still. She said, you don't have any cooking? Okay, let me do this, let me do this. she started, and then she put small shops in front of the house. People were buying. They will say, oh, they loved it. She put label, she did this, she did that. Because she was in school, you know, she was acquiring formal education onto whatever she was doing. So she was able to make it in a modernized way that was different from a roadside chef that was selling puff puff, like those people that will sell puff puff where flies will be perching it. She made her own in such a way that the official people, I mean, in an official way, that anybody that sees it will, you know, it will fascinate you. You will not want to say, oh, let me have a taste of this. Before you know it, she changed the prices. Everything started going on and on. She said one day somebody just came, they wanted to book for cake for a wedding. Then the mother of the bride was now asking, ah, Mama Lagbaja, abi, you know somebody that can help us cook? That I know the husband people are cooking, they are bringing food, but me too, I want to cook something no matter what, you know. She said the mom just called, ah, my daughter cooks. She said she was so mad that how can my mom say I cook? Ah, what kind of cooking is that? This and that. And they said, how much do you want to? We want this, we want that. Go and do your calculations. That it was even the mom that helped her because she didn't know the cost of things, the prices in the market. So the mother did everything. And then she said after she did the first cooking, she gave her mother 17,000 naira. That was then extra, you know, as her own, because she was the one that gave her the client. Then she said she didn't want to tell her mom how much she made, you know, out of it, you know, because she was the one that the mother helped her to negotiate, fine. But at the end of the day, they said they added one or two things. So she now told them, oh, if you want this, if you want that, and this and that, you know. She said she just gave one stupid name for one food like that. It was just like a concoction, she mixed it together. But because it tasted so nice, everybody loved it. And before you know it, they started patronizing her. Banks and banks, end of the year party for banks, they were calling her, and they gave her official contract that she had to cook for about 13-14 branches in December alone. You know what it means for all these big banks. And that was how she came into limelight. So I was now citing that woman as an example to a friend I was talking to yesterday, that people are making money out of this. People are really making it out of it. If once you are good in what you are doing, people will patronize you. There was this mama that used to fry akara while I was young. They used to call her akara kiss here, rush here. That's how they used to with bicycle. You'll be hearing rush here. You know what? On a Saturday morning, people that used to fry akara in their house stopped frying akara. They will be waiting for akara rush here. Maybe the way they used to call it, because it was the husband that started hawking with bicycle before everything. We just Before you know it, everybody loved akara rush here, and people started imitating her and everything like that. And that is it. Once you are good in whatever you are doing, people will patronize you. They will come look for you wherever you are. That is it. So acquire knowledge, knowledge and knowledge and knowledge. So have both formal and informal knowledge about what you want to do in the future. If white collar job comes, all well and good. If it doesn't come, you have something to fall back on. You are not going to be a nuisance. You are not going to be a talk of the town that you don't have anything, and then people will start tossing you around. You know, there are some situations, especially in your husband's house or in your in-laws house, when they know you are they will say, oh, he's good for nothing. So when you say, abeg leave am, that is when you say, you can't be here, and we go and hire somebody to come and be fetching water. Join them and go and fetch water. Eh? That is it. So that is how someone will turn to a ridiculous person in the presence of the in-law. So you have to look for one thing or the other to do. Even if your husband does not want you to work, stay at home and be doing something. Some people started all this TikTok and stuff. Some people started all this media stuff. It's still job. You have to be creative. The time you are dancing, you running up and down, putting your head on the floor, raising your legs and everything. At times your husband will be looking at you and smiling and say, Shobirin, you are okay. And Shobirin, you are okay. This smile is bringing money to the table. You know, just be creative. If you are learned, if you are educated, you will be able to think fast about some things. There are some people too, especially our mothers, that didn't go to school, but nowadays you require education to do some things. It's like a key to open so many doors for you. Because when I talked about cooking now, like chef, they cannot call roadside buns and be puff puff fryer in when you are there in an office, abi, in the caliber of all these politicians or all these big people. They will go and look for professionals, and those professionals might be going there and engage all those petty ones, oh, that yaolokpo, all those ones that fry by, you say, oh, what are you doing this weekend? Join us, we have a cooking. Join us, we have a cooking. And they will be giving the person 15,000, 20,000, while the main person that got the contract collected millions because he or she was able to speak English. Even men are cooking these days. Men are doing crochet, weave on, or whatever. They are doing hair. They are doing makeup. They are doing gele. There's this man in New York that ties gele. I remember when I first came, I say, ọkùnrin tie gele. Me, I cannot go there. How will he tie my gele? When I saw the gele, women will tie that gele all year round. They will go there when there's a party and they call that man to come and tie gele for them, or the man was invited. People will go with 2-3 kinds of gele. They will tell him to tie for them and keep in their cars, and they will be alternating it. That's why you see some people, we fanciful gele, this gele fine, and say, the gele, I've tied this for like almost 2 years now. Men are doing it. Women are doing mechanic job. So everybody is just putting their hands in one thing or the other that will fetch them good money in future. That is it. When you are able to get good education, both formal and informal, that is one. I will say in terms of finances, you are ready. In terms of finances, you are ready. That is it. It's interwoven with the empowerment, because you are able to empower yourself. Nobody can drag you in the mud. Nobody can push you aside, because you have what you're doing. We call some people we call them architects. No be to draw. But you cannot compare an architect that went to school to study with baba bricklayer by the roadside and say, ẹ̀yà báyìí, kò dúró dáadáa, ẹ̀já tì báyìí. No, you cannot compare the two. The houses they are going to make are going to be different with each other. Somebody showed a building. I don't know how they made the building. It was a completed building. And then they put a door on upstairs. There was no stairs. I was now asking, how do they want the person upstairs? How do they want the person to get upstairs or come down? They said there was another stairs on the other side. I said, who does that? No balcony, no veranda, nothing, just a door. What if they have small children? They went in through the other side and the child just opens the door. Wham! The child is on the floor, on the ground floor. I said, who was the architect that drew this plan? I was just laughing. They said now those people where they went to school but they never graduated, that maybe strike and they don't hold. It was just a joke anyway, and the person we laughed about it. There will be difference, because what you are doing, you will do it distinctively. It will be nice and beautiful, while the person that did not go to school, that did not acquire knowledge for that thing, we just do it anyhow. Yes, Baba Sule good. Baba Sule bricklayer That is it. So that is it. So then when we talk about maturity, maturity has nothing to do with age. Maturity has nothing to do with age. When a 15-year-old talks at times, you will go back, not even a 15-year-old, even kids that are less than 10 years. When they talk at times, you will go back and look at that child and wow, very intelligent. And you will see an elderly person like a 60-year-old man talking jargons. You will just look at the person and say, is that the person talking? You understand? So maturity has nothing to do with age. A 27-year-old man might be fully prepared and matured for marriage, while somebody who is 45 years is still talking like a toddler, is still acting like a toddler. I posted a video on Facebook today. I saw it. I was just opening my mouth, ha. And he said, you are a man and you talk loosely. You are a married man and you talk loosely. You just talk anyhow. No comma, no break, no jam. You just talk anyhow. You talk about your wife. There's no secret between you and your wife. You come out to the beer parlor, open place, and talk loosely about your wife, about your home. So what kind of a husband do we call that one? He's not matured. When you don't know when to talk, when not to talk, what to say, and what not to say, you are not matured. You are not matured. I said a 27-year-old might be ready for marriage, while a 45-year-old is saying he's ready and still talk nonsense. That is when you see people come online. What does not concern you, what is not your business, you put your mouth, you write rubbish on people's pages, all in the name that you just want to talk. Let me just talk. Do you have to talk? Do you? If you got nothing, on many occasions, I will try to type something, I will say, no, this is not my page. I'll drop it. Click like, wow, whatever, what emoji, and move away. You don't have to talk. When you don't have nothing to say, you don't have to talk. When you feel what you are going to say, what you are going to utter is not something you can condone if somebody says it to you, don't say it. Walk away. You don't have to. It's not a must that you must comment. Just walk away. I hope I am making sense. Please, if I am going astray, call me back. I'm open to corrections, right? I'm saying it from my own perception, because at times when I see people coming on Facebook and writing, maybe they don't listen or they don't read properly what the person has said or what the person is talking about, but they just conclude and just start saying something. It's not for you to say something if you don't know what to say. Please be quiet. You don't have to ruin somebody's happiness. And that is it. When a man or a woman is not matured, that is when a woman marries and you see something in your husband's house. That there are rats, mouse that have navels, right? But how could you see the navel if you don't get hold of that mouse and open the stomach and see, oh, this one has navel? I will not let anybody know. I'll keep it in my house. I'll keep it to myself. But when you come out, you talk. Yeah, I talk. But what is meant to be secret is supposed to be secret. What is meant to be between a husband and wife is supposed to be a husband and wife. Some people cannot define marriage, that there is nothing they cannot talk about. Even if they have an intercourse with their spouse, they will still come out and say, hey, oh, sheba ilano. Hey, no secret. And that is how many people loses their homes. You come and be describing your man on bed, and somebody is crying beside you that does not have that kind of fantasy, and the person will want to try. The next thing is snatching your husband, or the next thing the person is snatching your wife. You now come to social media and be crying up and down, going for therapy, spending money anyhow, crying up and down, but you will not tell them that you caused it. Like me, I talk fine, but there are some things you are not supposed to say, whether you like it or not. Don't say it. Some people, the matter will be jiggling in their stomach. It's like a bubble. They want to spill it out. Let me spit it. Let me spit it. If you are in that kind of a category, you fall under that kind of a person, category, right? There are 2 3 things you need to do. If you are religious, talk to God about it. Talk to God about it. Then self-discipline. Self-discipline. How to keep your mouth shut. How to keep your mouth quiet. There was a time I had an issue. So I didn't know who to talk to, but I wanted to talk to somebody. I thought of, should I tell so person? I said, this person talks a lot. Maybe tomorrow the person can be laughing at me. I kept quiet. I thought about another person. I started thinking and thinking and thinking. You know what I did? I now remembered somebody that said, we should be acting. There was a book we read when we were small, Aladewu Ogegere, that we should be acting that way. When we have something to talk, you don't know who to talk to. Go to your room. Call God as if you are talking to a man. Say, Oluwa, ẹ jókòó, mo fẹ́ bá yín sọ̀rọ̀. Talk to God. This is what I'm going through. This is what is happening. And what does it mean? You are praying and you are talking to God at the same time. Before you know it, your mind will be at peace. You'll be more calm, right? Then you will now be able to think ahead of your previous thoughts. That should I still look for solution in man? Should I still talk to somebody? That is when you will know what to do. But at that particular time that thing was hot, if you come out and talk, oh God, you will say what you're not supposed to say. You will say what you're not supposed to say. And don't be surprised, what you think is a secret that you have been keeping for years and months, you will just spill it out. And Yoruba says, ẹyin lohùn tó bá ti bọ́ kò ṣeé kó mọ́. That your words are like eggs. Once you drop an egg on the floor and it crashes, can you pack it and make it whole again? No. That is it. Your secret is in the open. Everybody will start making jest of you and looking at you. So you have to be mindful of what you say. You have to be mindful of what you say. So maturity has to do with that. If you are not matured enough, you still talk loosely. Like when I was growing up, they say if somebody gets married early, maybe earlier than the age you're supposed to get married, maybe like the person gets pregnant at 14, 15, 16, they call them a stop at 14, stop at 16 brain. That the brain will not mature more than at the time the person had that child. That every part of the body will stop growing. Even mentality of the person will stop at that age. So the way the person was reasoning at that age will be the permanent way the person will reason. Okay, if we say that, what about the person that now gets married, that got married at 35? So does that mean the brain did not grow to a 35-year-old brain? Right? We just have to grow up, be matured. What makes you mature is how to control your mouth, how to control yourself, to discipline yourself. Even when that thing, you're having urge for that thing, but you were able to contain it. You couldn't say it out. During my own time, I remember there was a day I went to my bed. I talked. My kids were small. They didn't even know what I was talking about. I talked. By the time I was done, I was calm. And I started praying. When you know you have issues going on with you, or you have some things to say, think second time, third time, fourth time, think twice, 3 times, 4 times before you say it out. By the time you are thinking and rethinking, you will know what steps to take. That is when we call what we call maturity. Maturity is when you are ready to make sacrifices, when you are ready to say I do to somebody that does not have the same character with you, and you are ready to bear and endure the person. That is when we say you are matured enough for marriage. Maturity is when you are ready to forgive whatever the person might have done. That is maturity. Maturity is when not to retaliate. Any little thing, I will do it for him. I will do it for her. I once had a boss. The boss was a woman, and she was looking for the fruit of the womb. And lo and behold, on their streets, the girls that used to greet her, all those people that were doing phone calls, one of them got pregnant. They would greet her, not knowing she was the husband's mistress. She had the child, and the woman was saying, yeah, I've not been seeing so person. As she put to bed, she put to bed. She has gone to Ijebu at the husband's people's house. Meanwhile, these people were from Ondo State. I said, hey, anytime she's back, please let me know. I owe her gift, just to give her gift. Not knowing that the husband was the father of that baby. So when this lady found out, oh God, excuse me, she cried. I cried with her. All of us at work that day, we cried. Before I could pull her up from the floor, someone that had been pregnant before, she had issues with her husband. The husband beat her and kicked her. She lost the pregnancy, 5-6 months old pregnancy, and since then, no more issues. So the thing pained her so much that the husband rendered her in such a condition and went ahead and impregnated somebody else. She was hungry, and she said she was going to retaliate. She retaliated. Then I will not lie to you, I was in support and saying, do your own too. I was younger, I wasn't married, but I didn't know what kind of retaliation. I was asking her, are you going to get pregnant for somebody else? Say no, that she was going to retaliate. That she had 2 or 3 things to retaliate on. I asked her what, because we used to hear when the husband beat her in their apartment. The other apartment was where we were working. So this particular day, she now told me what happened. That she had the door, somebody calling her. She was now saying, talk to my husband, you don't need to call me, I'm in the shower. And then the husband now said, are you daft? Can't you see that I was the one that sent the person? So in order for her to avoid trouble, she came out with a wrapper tied to her chest and a towel on her neck, thinking maybe the husband would just tell her, do this, while upstairs. They had a duplex. Their bedroom were upstairs while the main living room was downstairs. And lo and behold, the man was commanding her, come downstairs here. She went downstairs. She said she was now asking the husband, why did you, like, why did you call me? So one flimsy thing, the husband was now saying, where did you put something, something like that. She now said, ah. So you could not wait for me to get dressed because of that. She said she was so mad and angry. She turned back and she was already late for work. So she turned back with annoyance just to walk away. The man just dragged her, the wrapper, and the wrapper let loose just like that. The drivers were there, two drivers. The man was a military man. Whether na oddly abi, I don't know who they call them. One like that was standing. The man just said, Jesus. Said the man just turned his face around. She said she cried for like 2 days. She was avoiding those domestic staff, and she said she was going to retaliate. When she retaliated, the mother-in-law was there, her home brother was there, her niece was there, the husband's brother was there. That time they used to make jest of her because of children and stuff like that, and the domestic staff too were there. And the most funniest part was that we were working on the other side, I wasn't there because it happened shortly before I got there. So about two of the girls were there. So as usual now, any little thing slap, any little thing this and that. So the husband was coming from upstairs. She was in the kitchen cooking, trying to make breakfast for the mother-in-law before she could go to work. And she said she was already fully dressed, ready to go out. She put some things in the car, and that time there was no fuel. There was fuel scarcity. So the husband was now calling her a thief because the husband had two other cars in the house. The one had tarpaulin on it. They were not driving. It was a new car. That one goes out once in a while. The husband had a regular car. The woman had one small car like that she was driving. Then another one being parked in the car. All those the other two other cars were full with gas, with fuel. So she now went there and siphoned, I don't know how many liters. So when the husband came from traveling, she didn't tell the man over in the night. So in the morning she was not saying, so person, I forgot to tell you yesterday when you came that while you were away from the other vehicle, I got 10 liters of fuel, but immediately there is gas I will buy, I will go and pour back. Say the man was now calling her a thief in the presence of everybody. O lè ní ẹ́, o sì máa gbébọn, o máa gbébọn, ìwọ lè. Your wife, because of fuel. Say the mother did not stop the man, and everybody was like, she said she was managing to cook. She was still cooking. So she served the food on the table. Say, Mama, oh yeah, come and eat. And say, Mama, mommy, only I want jẹun, like thief said you should come and eat. So that was when she was angry. She now said, láyé, never in your life, never you call me a thief. All in the name of what? Say the man just came from nowhere and gave her a slap. Meanwhile, they were standing at the back of a 3-seater sofa. So as the man gave her a slap, she held her hair like this. The man was ready to give her another one. And the man was wearing jalabia. It was early in the morning, like around 8. The woman was preparing to go to work. She said she just carried the man from the 2 legs and pushed him over the 3-seater seat. Before you know it, his legs were up. And what do you think? He wasn't wearing anything underneath. She said immediately she saw that, she knew she was going to die that day. She couldn't go to work. She said she ran back upstairs, locked her door from the back. It was then the mama now started shouting that, do you want to kill my son? Do you want to kill my son? The mama was there when the man was calling her a thief, but never said anything. Said the man called that thief for like 4 or 5 times. The mama never said anything. That even when she called mama's attention and saying, Mama, sure you can hear your son calling me names, the mama did not say anything. She did as if she didn't hear. But when the woman did her own, so she was not telling me that day that she was going to retaliate for what the husband did by impregnating somebody on their street. Lo and behold, she did. Oh, she did. I don't want to go into details, but that was what caused the separation, the total annulment of their wedding. Right? But maturity, when you are mature, there are some things that does not worth you fighting for. When you have seen handwriting on the wall, you won't even delve into it at all. But when you are not mature, you talk anyhow, you act anyhow, you believe whatever you are doing is the right thing. You will not want to take to corrections, you will not want to yield, you will not want to give your all into the marriage. No affection, no compassion, no love, no, nothing. You just want to be a loner. You're in a marriage and you want to be a loner. Or maybe you'll be so selfish, it's just about you don't want to care. No, not like that. Then, as a spinster or as a bachelor, there are some many seminars and that you need to be attending, even if you don't have money to attend them. When you have made it so easy, you can listen to them online. How to be a good father, how to be a good husband, how to be a good spouse, how to be a good in-law to your in-laws, son-in-law to your in-laws, daughter-in-law to your in-laws. Listen to them. All these things, not ordinary high. I am saying it in a general phenomenon, but you have to pray. It's not just in a matter of mouth. There had been so many mistakes that people were not compatible. They just said, let's manage. I need a man badly. I need to get married. No, there's no do or die in it. If you make it a do or die, you end up choosing a wrong person. You end up choosing a wrong person. But if you leave everything solely unto God, He will choose for you at His appointed time, which will be the best time for you, safe. And He will choose the best and the best for you. We see people celebrating 40 years, 50 years. Do you think they did not sacrifice? Do you think they are not matured? Some people married themselves as young bees, newbies. I saw a video yesterday, picture yesterday. They were 23 when they got married. 27 years after they showed them, that's in their 50s. They are 50 now. Do you think for them to be together at that early age, both man and woman, do you think they were not prepared? Though they might not know what the future will hold for them, but as time goes on, they knew that one, divorce and separation was not in their dictionary. Like somebody will say, if you are tired of me tonight, go and sleep. Tomorrow morning we continue. No divorce, no separation. When we have that at the back of our mind, and genuinely, not the one you'll be beating the woman or you'll be beating the man, abusing the man, and thinking divorce is not the marriage. That's not what I'm saying, you know. The one that both of you are going to be on the same page, that you are ready to sacrifice, you are ready to endure, you are ready to persevere, you are ready to manage yourselves, you are ready to tolerate yourselves. I have seen couple getting divorced because of fat. Pé ó ti lè ya sójú. Can you imagine? How can you say you want to get divorced because your spouse is fatting anyhow? I've seen the ones that said the husband was not always snoring and would not allow her to sleep. You could see that. So those ones, I said, they were not ready for marriage. They just heard about marriage, they jumped into it, they didn't know what it meant. That is it. So all those things, you have to go for all those seminar, all those training, all those marriage talk, you know, a lot of things. They are doing it online these days. Listen to them, pray with them online, do a lot, you know. I know there are some pastors too that are not fit to be talking to, because when you talk to them, you will come to the altar and be talking about you, directly or indirectly. I'm not bless me, excuse me. I'm not talking about those ones. But when you know that you are attending a living, you know, church, a good church, you can still talk to your pastor. Your pastor can pray with you, not the one that they will be joining you together in the church and saying, Okoloko should go and marry ìyàwó níyàwó. No, I'm not talking about that one. That they will say, divorce him, go and marry so person. No, that's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. So listen to genuine men of God. Listen to genuine counselors, genuine marriage seminar trainings, and so many things they are doing online. There are some for either of the sexes, maybe you female ones, the male ones. There are some that are both. Attend, listen to them. Some people cannot invest in themselves, but they can buy asoebi, party that does not concern them, they want to buy. Even we as parents, and we are having children that are growing up, don't wait until they are 25, 27 before you start talking about marriage to them. Don't wait until they are 30 when their mind is built up already. Start talking to them from when they are 18, 16 about marriage, preparing their minds down for relationships. And finally, when they have relationship, they won't be able to hide it from you. And I'm not talking about you close, you know. When you ask him, what did he say? Did you give it to him? They say, give him a slap. Give her a... No, I'm not talking about those ones. Those ones that you will be able to pray with your daughter and your son. You'll be able to ask them questions when they talk to you. You tell them patience, patience, patience in whatever you are doing. You have to be calm. You have to be cool. You don't talk anyhow. When you're not supposed to be talking, you don't talk. You go to your in-laws house. They have not started talking. You collected the remote. No. Lack of manners. You go to your in-laws house, they give you food. You eat and be licking with hand. No. Or you get there and be chewing like a dog. You asking for more food. Ebusi, ebusi, ebusi. I want more, I want more. No manners. You cannot, even if you are hungry, you cannot manage. There was a pastor, he said he loved being so much. And he was fasting. He got to his in-laws house. They offered him beans. Hey! The man was saying, it's almost time to break. You know, break your fast and eat the beans. Beans is your best food. But because of the determination, the maturity, the Holy Spirit in him, he was able to control his appetite at that particular time. Say, thank you, sir. Eshe, sir. Eshe, sir. He did. But if it were to be somebody else, you'll say, why they down? You know, beans is good for body. You can, you know, this one is okay. You can add a little more, just little more. And you start eating. Before you know it, you'll be chewing tato, and they will talk. When you are talking, you talk again, speech will come out, pwa. No manners. And then they will be looking at you. Then they will call their child, wa, Shele, this one is not ready for marriage. Oh. This one does not have manners, no table manners. No. So all these things, you have to. You can be in your house and sit on the floor and even use your long tongue to lick plate. But when you are outside, you comport yourself. You act responsibly. That is when we say you are ready. That is when we say you are ready. Even when you want to introduce to your parents, not the ones you have been sleeping there, that they know you. Kò sí ilé, and go to so person's house, you meet him there, you meet her there. No. No sex, no premarital sex. And that's one, when they were telling us those days, we didn't even know the meaning. No testing microphone. No. No. That will make you to be able to cut off from the person if God says this person is not the person. But when you have entangled yourself in what you're not supposed to entangle yourself in, you won't be able to fall out. You won't be able. You want to patch what is not patchable. You want to patch, you want to manage what is not meant to be manageable. What is not meant to be managed? What is meant to, you when you're just supposed to walk away. Most of the time we see the handwriting written on the wall, but we still go inside thinking miracle will occur. It's only going to get worse. It's not going to get better. So the earlier you open your eyes, you open your ears wide. Yeah, they said love is blind, but marriage is an eye opener. When you are married, you are together, that is when you will now see that so this one is like this one is like this. You people, we have to keep talking. We have chosen our own, right? But we can help the children. We pray for them, fine. They pray for themselves, fine. We monitor. We talk to them. We ask them questions. We reason with them at the same time. Because we are not the one to live in the house with them. Not that we'll be now judging and comparing. Your own life that has Totilo, you will not be comparing. During our own time, men will not do this way. It's not, no. Nowadays, men are helping out more and more. Our fathers that they don't used to help. Well, I never had that anyway. Both my fathers, the one that brought me up and my biological father, was always helpful in the kitchen. They were always helpful. Yes. Their wife will be cooking. They might be picking beans. They might be doing this. They wash dishes. Not our guys of nowadays. They say it's meant for house chores are meant for women. That is when women will work and be tired. They will go to, in the olden days, our babas, they don't used to work. They take them to the farm, right? And that is when they will be looking fresh. They will get toothpick and be picking teeth after dinner. The wives are still running up and down. Their neck will be long. There will be hole on their neck because they were over laboring them. That is why nowadays, try to train up your children, either man or woman. They did not write at the entrance of the kitchen meant for woman. No. Anybody can enter kitchen. You say women are supposed to be in the kitchen. When your children are in the boarding school or they are in the higher institution, who will be cooking for them there? Your men, your boys. You will follow them as their mother and go and be cooking for them. No. Let them be useful. Let them cook. If it's only water, I know some people, they're always cooking beans and rice. Beans and rice. If it's only beans and rice, let the person cook beans and rice. If that's the only thing he knows how to do, let him cook it. Tomorrow, he will start doing this and that. That is it. Let the children, let them be able to do a lot of chores. It should not be weighing it on people's neck. Let them be doing chores. Chores are not meant for a specific sex. It's not meant for a specific gender. Anybody can do. The husband can bathe baby. The husband can take care of the baby while the wife is cooking. My husband will back baby. I will be cooking and sewing at the same time. I'll be cooking and sewing at the same time. I once had a girl that lived with me. She won't want to do anything. No. But when the food is ready, you say, Auntie BB, I trust you. That aroma of that food could not let me sleep. I said, my auntie in the kitchen, always in the kitchen, because I love cooking. Then before you know it, she will come and eat. At times I want to talk, my husband will say, she will not live here forever. If the parent did not train her to cook, there's nothing we can do. Because the time I was hungry and I pointed it out to her that you have to do it, you have to do it, she packed out and she started telling stories about me. I don't care anyway. If I could not do it, if I wasn't able to do it, will I be able to manage a home? No. When you are able to think, even if you are running out of things at home, you are able to think, sit down and say, let me quickly join this and this and this and this together. And lo and behold, food comes. That is it. So one have to be fully prepared for the marriage. It has nothing to do with age, and it has nothing to do with gender. You have to know when you are ready or not. If you are still running back to mommy and daddy, you cannot make decisions on your own, you are not ready. Yes, that is it. Boys, Adebola Taiwo said, my son is 9 years old and is already helping me out, especially washing plates willingly. That is it. That is it. You know why our boys are like that these days? Because we didn't want them to go through what we went through. Forgetting that those orientations and trainings are the ones helping us nowadays. At times we find ourselves in some situations that we will not think of survival. But at the end of the day, we will now say, how did I survive that situation? Because you were already pre-prepared. You were prepared for it unknowingly. Unknowingly. But we don't want our children to go through what we went through. We want to do everything for them. I am guilty also because I used to do it at times. I would just say, let me leave them, let me do it. Especially when I know that thing, they will not be fast with it, I want to do it myself. But nowadays, I don't spare them. I'll just be looking at them, they grumble, they talk, they just get it done. I don't care. That is it. So if you think you are over pampering them, it's a pity. That is when the wives are getting over labored, and then they will not want to be able to cope anymore. They won't be able to cope. They will complain. Then the next thing they will say, I'm tired of this marriage. I'm not feeling it. I'm not. This is not what I bargained for. And before you know it, they're out. Because the pressure will set in. Someone that you went out together in the morning to go and work, look for money, to make ends meet. This person wants to help with bills. This person doesn't want to bother you with her own private bills. Now she's working, both of you work. At times, it will even be the woman that will, the man that will come in first. And then you will now sit down and cross your legs and wait for someone that has gone. You that came at 5, you could not boil ordinary rice. You could not take out stew from the freezer and warm it up and fry plantain. You will now wait for somebody that is coming in at 9 o'clock. Kí what are we eating? When you did not marry a housemaid. Helpmeet lápé o. Helpmate lápé o. Olùrànlọ́wọ́. Someone that is supposed to be helping you. So if you are not ready, if you are not matured enough to make all these sacrifices, you are not ready. You are not ready for marriage. You are not ready for marriage. So many reasons, so many things. So many things. And when you want to introduce your spouse, you come, you introduce your to be to your parents, and you now say, hey, this is the person I want to get married to. Mind you, you have to respect your people. Not because you are going to get married to so person, and even if the person is rich, I don't care. I don't care. You have to be able to respect your people. As you are respecting your in-laws, respect your people. Don't drag your people in the mud, all in the name of marriage, because you will not be able to they will not be able to hand that respect from from their son-in-law or their daughter-in-law anymore. Some people are ready to fight their parents because of their spouse. No, it's not supposed to be. If you are not matured, if you are not ready to be able to stand in between your wife and your husband, and your mother, so that you will not be leaning on one side more than the other side. If you are not ready to stand in between them without causing problem or havoc, you are not matured enough. Some people cannot make decisions. Mommy have to tell them. Mommy shaking shame. Mommy, do I do it? Mommy, do I do that? Mommy this, mommy that. Some daddy this, daddy. Because your daddy gave your husband to be job doesn't mean you should control his life. Doesn't mean you should subject him to ridicule. No. If you are still doing all these things, you are not ready for marriage. You are not ready for marriage. The money that your father has, who knows if it's because of your spouse that God gave him that money. If he messes up, wọ́n ní àtúbọ̀tán tálẹ́kà ó dájú tó lówó lọ. If things want to turn around for a poor person, it's better because it's going to elevate the person, make him more rich. But turning around of a rich person is not good though, if the person turn around and become a pauper. Because your husband have not gotten a job and you have a job, it doesn't mean you should ridicule him or you should subject him to ridicule or disrespect him. No. If you are still doing all those ones, you want to get married and you are the one controlling. No, which money do you have that you want to make that? No, we are not doing it that way. This is the way we are doing it. This is what we are buying. What nonsense. Additional cost for that. Are you going to pay for that? You don't have the money and then you want to. No, we are not doing it that way. This is the way I want it and that is the final. Because you are going to be the breadwinner. If you are a man and you see that sign, run. Because once you enter, you go wash pants tire. You go wash pants. You go kneel down face wall. Madam go tell you no food today. You have to be mindful of the situation you are going to put yourself in. And if you are the one that does beyond your capacity and power, you are not ready for marriage. Your husband to be calls you and say, I don't have money. I'm budgeting 200,000 for this wedding. Let's manage. And they'll say, 200,000. When I have gone to Bimpe's wedding, I've gone to Dupe's wedding, I've gone to this person's wedding, I've gone to that person. So they will now come to my own wedding. I want that bikini. They will now say, what's here? They didn't have this, they didn't have that. You now want to go and be taking credit and loan on your own. No. If you see your spouse trying to do that, walk away. Tell the person, I'm not interested. Because tomorrow you go drag you into debt of millions. If it's your husband or your in-law that are so choosy, that are doing all those ones, you are not ready. They are not ready for the marriage. They are not ready for the marriage. We have seen people getting married wearing t-shirts. Fine. That is it. See one lady recently and her husband, They celebrated their 10th year wedding and the anniversary, and she did a wedding of her dreams. Something she has been nurturing. You can imagine. She must have been dreaming about that marriage even before the wedding, the previous one she did 10 years prior of the time. But because she didn't have the money, she did not let that stop her from going into the marriage. She waited until she would be able to, and she had the wedding of her dreams. I know people were talking about her. I, like me, I don't condemn people like that, because if she does not have the fund, she wouldn't have done it. So we have to be mindful of what we are getting ourselves into. If not, we are not ready for the marriage. We have seen people wearing simple dresses, and then later on they are getting it done the way they want. And we have seen people doing elaborate wedding that 2 days after wedding, people are knocking on their doors, bringing shame. Is that what it's supposed to be? If you are in for that, you are not ready. Cut your coat according to your cloth. They said according to your size. So that is it. Ìkọjá àyè, don't go beyond your capacity and power. You know you have so amount, and think about when you get married again. Your wife is going to eat. Children may start coming immediately. So you cannot get married yesterday and today you are begging for money. Think about it. Think about it. So if you still have all those things at the back of your mind, you are not ready. You are not ready. So I said, respect your husband to be, respect your wife, but at the same time, respect your people. All in the name of marriage. You want to get married, you are dragging your people in the mud. Or you because you have little change, you are not talking to your in-laws anyhow. Table turns, table turns, da well. No be this world. Table turns. So you have to be mindful of what you talk, what you say, what you utter to your in-law or your spouse. I've seen a situation where the man will talk and say, Oku Omoye Adago, did you make my money for me? I've been making money before I even met you. Where were you when I was struggling? Did you not just come and make money? Yeah? And you're supposed to be one. If you see that sign, you have not gotten married to the person, he's talking to you like that. When you get married, maybe he's going to carry kobobuko or sweep and be whipping your ass. Huh? Abi your in-law are the one looking down on you, talking anyhow. Look for what you need to do. Start doing it even before you leave your father's house. Start doing it. I've seen people, men that did not have job. They couldn't lay their hands on any job. They started cooking. They started doing this and that. And they are feeding their families. Yeah, they are doing well. And their children are going to good schools because of that. If you are not matured to go for marriage, don't delve into it, or don't try it. That's why I said marriage has nothing to, age has nothing to do with it. Don't say because my siblings are getting, my younger siblings are getting married before me. Everybody's time is different though. Don't say my third sibling, my third younger sibling is getting married and me, I have not even gotten somebody. Let me just drag somebody. You just drag one bullshit and you get married to the person. Whatever your eyes see there, na you sabi o. Don't say because you want to get married at all costs, or you are doing competition. Maybe you are doing rivalry with your siblings, or maybe your father's children. You don't want them to get married before you. That's none of your business. Everybody's time different. It differs from each other. As I said. So I will say thank you. The places I have not touched, some other time we'll be touching them. But at least the little one I'm able to say today, know that everybody's time is different. Your sister can get married at 24, while you are 30, you are still searching. That does not define you. It's not a do or die. But at the same time, don't be too choosy. And you that you are, you psych him up even before they talk to you. You look at the person from head to toe. Over there, see the shoe, see the way he's standing, see the way he's bending. Why are you not standing like a letter C? Why are you having K leg? Why are you, condemnation? If you have any question, you can go ahead. Yeah. So when you run the person down, finish. And you say, I'm looking, you are searching at 30. You no go see, no be lie. No be lie. Some people will say, drag, if you cannot see Mr. Right, drag Mr. Wrong and pull him to me to the right. That is it. But in this case, I tell people, if you get a wife to be, or a woman or a man, you are getting married, and you have that all the qualifications and whatever you think the criteria you want, you can see like 60% or 50% in the person self. That's enough. That's enough. By the time you start dating and you start talking and you start knowing the person, I'm sure you will still get 20 more. And when you get married, drag 10 more. You too, you are not some people's spec. So don't overdo it. He's not my spec, he's doing this, he's doing that. See the way he talks, see his mouth is so wide, see his nose, this is that. You start condemning, giving excuses. No. What you have to know is that some people sef cannot go with you. Once they see you, they say, Eleke, no. So you cannot be expecting to see 100% person when you are not 100%. There's a question, it says maturity from one side. What should the other side do? Compliment or just walk away if he or she cannot tolerate it? What do we call maturity? Maturity has to do with tolerance, as I said. You should be able to tolerate. Even your siblings, can they all tolerate you? Can you tolerate all of them? But you have to tolerate them. You have to manage, right? Nobody is perfect. Once you have it at the back of your mind that nobody is perfect, I'm not talking about somebody that beats you or run you down with his mouth. No. I'm talking about maybe somebody that things are not good enough yet, maybe in terms of maybe academics, the person is still going to school or is looking for a job or is that. But when we are talking about maturity, what are we talking about? I've mentioned some things in terms of the maturity. How does the person talk? How does the person reason? Is it the person that you will put money down and say, so person, this money that I've put down, I want you to pay your school fees, pay part of your school fees from this. And the person now says, we can pay school fees, my parents will pay the school fees later. I want to buy iPhone 30. You will know that this person, when you get married to the person, her priority will be on things of the world, not things that will increase her. Or you understand what I'm saying? I listened to a voice note. The guy was complaining. You could see from the tone of the guy that the guy too wasn't well read, but he wanted to send the girl to school. He said, I obtained JAMB form for you. Today is the same day of the exam. You are calling me to come and buy shawarma to take you to joint to go and eat. You that could not keep a date for your exam, that if my child now brings home work, who will be doing it? You will be waiting for me till I come, or you will be calling neighbors. You could see that the guy was ready to invest in the girl by obtaining form for JAMB. But the girl doesn't see that as a priority. She saw shawarma and drinks and whatever as a priority. So what are you talking about when you're talking about maturity? If you see that this person is not matured, is not ready, and you are ready, right? If you can wait. But if the person is not ready, if the person is not matured, is the person ready to amend or to change? Genuine change, not kwekwe that will pretend until they come in or until you marry them. If you cannot tolerate, what can you not tolerate? It depends. As I mentioned some things now, if the person is into too many worldly things, you have not gotten married to her, ó ti fẹ́ raṣọ ẹbí pa, telling you to bring money today, bring money tomorrow, bring money, money. Everything is about money. It's just so worldly. I want to buy human hair, I want to buy Brazilian hair, I want to buy this, I want to buy that, I want to buy. Run, no. E go put you for wahala. She's demanding, how much is she dropping? I want to buy wig of 200,000, and you are expecting your boyfriend to come and buy wig of 200,000 for you. Maybe your boyfriend that have not started working, or that have just gotten a small job, maybe his salary for 6 months will be the 200,000. So definitely, if you marry that person, you go become debtor. You no go sleep, you no go drink water drop cup o, because debtors go come dey knock your door poo every day. Onígbèsè bá gbówó wá. So you have to be very careful in what you call your own maturity. How does the person talk? How does the person dress? That's another thing. You dress the one with the way you want to be addressed. Some people will be getting married, they will go and be sewing naked clothes. I don't fancy it. Me, as a person, I don't fancy it. What you're supposed to cover, everybody have seen it. The wife cannot bend down and dance like this. Everything will be falling apart. And even the things that are even falling apart sef, the ones that are married, their own are even more better. So you have to be careful even while you are planning the marriage, and you see that things are not right. Don't patch, address it. Maturity is when you are ready to communicate, you are ready to talk. You are not just ready to pretend. Let me leave her, we'll talk about it later. It will keep piling and accumulating, and there will be one day you will not be able to contain it anymore. You will burst, and when katakata bursts, you won't be able to hold it. Things will just fall apart, and the center will not be able to hold. That is it. Address what is supposed to be addressed on time. Talk about it. If you need to go your separate ways and think about it first before going ahead, do so. That's why we're talking about premarital sex. If there's no premarital sex, there won't be too much attachment. So if you now see that this person is not God's plan for me, you'll be able to break away easily. That is it. May God bless us. Any other question? If you have any question, I can answer. And in the process of questioning, I want to say thank you so very much for listening. I really appreciate you. Thank you. I appreciate you so well. Any other question? If you still have question, I have 1 or 2 minutes left. We have gone more than we have spent an hour and a half already. Supposed to be an hour, but each time we come, we have a lot to talk about. So, is there any question? Question. Beatrice, thank you. Esoye, thank you. Jean, Amy, Kakil, Pakil, sorry, I don't know, or Kyle. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce it well. I'm sorry. So if you have any question, I'm all ears. If you cannot remember questions yet and you can drop it. You can drop the question under the post and we attend to the question later, right? Thank you. My name still remains Olubusolami. That is Olu Abi. And then Abid Busi. Thoughtful Event is the group that is bringing these topics to you every now and then. Remember to join us. We love you. We want you to be a part of us. We want you to be a part of our family. Come and join us. Subscription is free. We are on YouTube. I think YouTube is www.youtube.com/@oluabi. YouTube/@oluabi. That is it. And then the thoughtful event is lowercase t and the rest is uppercase, and lowercase e and the rest is uppercase also. So you see us on Facebook and you see us on YouTube. Thank you so very much for joining tonight. Till next week, where we'll bring another topic. God bless you. I love you. Bye.